I'm exploring the horizons. Today we're going to be on the Fillmore Trail and we're going to be going to a waterfall. Additionally, we're also going to be going to a shelter cave too. There's going to be some picnic tables out here. And a lot of the other trails that we go to, there are no bathrooms, but in this case, there are restrooms, places to dump your trash if you need it. That area I showed you is the Cueva Trailhead. It's about a half mile from this pay stop where you got to go to first. They accept credit card. They also accept cash because there's a cash box there. You can even pay if you have something like Apple Pay on your phone. And then there's also this sign here that gives information about not only the pay, the rates, the instructions, as well as what you can and can't do over at this trailhead. So now we're going to go back half mile down the road onto the La Cueva Trailhead. From here, this is going to be our jump off point that's going to take us out to the Fillmore Trail. In fact, there's another massive picnic area that's just a little bit further down the road from the La Cueva Trailhead that we were just at a minute ago. The sign behind me is a little hard to read, but it pretty much warns that people have died mountain climbing in this area, and also to leave snakes alone. Also, don't attempt to do any hikes or climbing that you're not equipped for or prepared for, and wear appropriate clothing, of course. So as I was walking through here, I realized I messed up. I forgot to bring bug spray, and there were gnats out here everywhere. They were very annoying. But anyway, as we come up here, the trail does fork off. If you go to the right, it looks like dogs aren't going to be allowed. And that's also the way that you're going to go to the cave. But we're not going to go to the cave yet, so we're going to go to the left, because we want to see the waterfall first. The route there is extremely scenic. In fact, these video clips that you're seeing really does not do the area justice. It's just amazing when you can actually see there and all the stuff that was off camera and everything up more close and personal than what you can see through the lens of the video. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to go to this waterfall so bad, it is a seasonal waterfall, and lately New Mexico has been in a pretty severe drought. The drought is so bad around here that a lot of the waterfalls dried up. In fact, Dripping Springs, which I also did a video about, had dried up. It could have easily been called Leaky Faucet waterfall, as it was literally just coming out. Maybe a drop here, a few minutes later another drop would come down. It was pretty sad last time I saw it. And then I also went into to another waterfall over in the Soledad Canyon, Bar Canyon Loop area. And that waterfall was actually pretty awesome. It was coming in really strong, and that one had also been previously dried out. In fact, for several months here, because I've been checking social media from this area and also some of the other apps, and several of the videos or the pictures that I saw always showed that it was dried up, and so that was a real treat to see. Now, it had just rained the night before this video, so I was expecting that this waterfall would be coming down really good, so I was actually very excited about getting out here. In fact, I was chomping at the bit. I could not even get here quick enough. I was very happy that when I finally was able to get out here, even though there was gnats that were bothering me the whole time, since I forgot the bug repellent. But, you know, that's just part of the thing that you got to go through sometimes, I guess. In fact, this video was recorded in early July. It's not uncommon for me to record for a video a couple months before they actually get released. So if you do decide to come out here, if you come out here in the summertime, like I'm out here, you want to come somewhat in the early morning hours. Unfortunately, this is mid-morning right here. I should have actually come in later because it was actually pretty hot out here when I was here. And the temperatures easily get above 100 degrees during the summertime. I would actually expect it to get 100 degrees, so that's why you want to be out here in the early morning hours. And of course, the sun's very bright out here, very little shade. Here's a trail runner going by. So make sure you bring 100 SPF sunscreen. Not joking, actually. Canyon. So it says here, you are standing at the southern edge of the historic Modoc mine site. an abandoned silver mine and lead mine. In 1898, the Modoc Mining Company spent $1 million to build a huge mining development and small town site here. For its day, the Modoc Mine was a state-of-the-art operation boasting vertical shafts several hundred feet deep with mounted hoists, a large tramway to carry the ore, a 3-story millstone, wood-fired boilers to boil steam engines and ore crushers, and I can't even read that word, and concentrators. A well plunging 400 feet into the earth supplied water to the operation. Local laborers cut fuel wood for the boilers and the Oregon Mountain and hauled it to the site with burro trains. Well, very interesting. I bet that's the trail to the right, this way. So it's probably going to be a future video. In fact, if you want me to do a video on that mine, maybe just put some comments on down there for me. If I get enough people telling me that they're interested in that video, I will move it up the priority list. Chances are I'll probably be out here sometime again and go ahead and make the video, because it's just something that I do. But if I see a lot of people are very interested, then I'll try to put that a little bit ahead on the schedule. Otherwise, it could be a long time before I get around to making that video. So the first part of this trail to get over to where the waterfall is, it's all uphill for about a mile. This trail is just a little bit over 2 miles, and so it's 1 mile one way, and then you literally just come back the same way you went. It's not a loop or anything, so you're actually going to get to see everything on this trail twice. You get to see it going in and coming out. It actually looks a little bit different from each angle as you're coming up from an elevated position on down. The terrain here, it looks a little rocky. It's really not that bad. A lot of times I use hiking sticks. In fact, I had hiking sticks that I brought in my camel pack, and I never used them, which I normally do most hiking trips, because the ground was solid. It was not hard to walk on at all. Everything was packed. And I did see reviews about this trail, people claiming it was slippery. And I don't know if it's just because we've been getting unseasonably amounts of rain here in early July. In fact, I think it was July 9th here when I actually filmed this originally, and didn't have any problems with slippage or anything. Now we're starting to get closer to the waterfall. The closer you get to the waterfall, the more rocky it's going to get. And I think most people can easily handle the area up to the waterfall. They might run into some problems right before the waterfall. You'll see why as this video continues. One thing I'm finding a little bit odd here is that normally you'd hear a waterfall when you're this close, and I don't see any water in the stream. Hopefully I'm not too late and it didn't already dry up already. So at this point, I'm wondering if this is going to be a major letdown. But at least I enjoyed the scenery. If you see this branch come up in front of you, went the wrong way on the trail. It actually forks and is supposed to go the opposite direction. This trail's not very well marked. Well, at least that's something. I was actually hoping to catch something a little bit better than that. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed that this isn't flowing a lot better, but unfortunately sometimes that's the way it goes. That's the risk we take, but at least we got to see some beautiful rock formations and some other stuff out here. So please hit that like and subscribe button. That really mean a lot to me. Thank you. So now it's on to the cave, but just one little observation I want to make is when it comes to water, always please pay attention to whether or not the water is stagnant or if it's actually moving and flowing. In this case, it looked like the water at the bottom of the gorge of the waterfall was maybe about 18 inches deep is my guess. And it looked clear, it looked clean, but there was also a lot of flies buzzing around, so that was a little suspicious. The thing about stagnant water is bacteria can grow in there very quickly, and you don't know what kind of flesh-eating bacteria or what kind of bacteria is in there, what can make you sick or how it can affect you. So yeah, definitely keep your feet out of it, even if it looks nice and inviting, it looks cool there. Just avoid that temptation. So another little warning about New Mexico deserts, it does get very hot out here, as you know, everybody of course knows about this. But the only thing about the heat is that people don't realize how quickly it can suck the moisture right through your skin and cause you to, you know, like even when you sweat, it can evaporate so fast you don't realize how much you're sweating sometimes. So I one time I found a guy who was from out of state, did not know New Mexico deserts very well, and he was out mountain biking when I rolled across him, and he had run out of water. He's about 3 or 4 miles away from the trailhead, and he was lost. I had to give him some water, and I was able to escort him back to the trailhead. So just please be careful about that. There have been people who have passed away out here in these New Mexico deserts, not knowing how dangerous they are. And just another little fun fact, it is a little bit creepy out here. The reason why is because there's a lot of lizards out here. And in fact, you may have seen some running across the camera. And you also may have seen one I focused in on earlier. But these things can be pretty big, and sometimes they'll be crawling around the bushes. So while you're walking around these trails, you'll be out here by yourself, and then all of a sudden you'll hear the bushes or something behind you. It almost sounds like there's a person behind you. It does sound quite creepy, but most likely it's probably just a lizard. But there are rabbits and roadrunners out here. And I forgot to mention on the way in, I actually saw a bunch of bulls standing by the side of the road coming in here. In fact, there's a lizard right there, as a matter of fact. Just talking about him. So we're near the cave now. Unfortunately, the GoPro's starting to overheat a little bit, so I have to be sparing on the footage that I use, which is very unfortunate, but it is pretty hot out here. I don't know if it's visible on the camera or not, but it looks like there was some recent little mini waterfalls that look like they had recently dried up over here. Yeah, it's still wet on this section of the trail right here. Right behind me appears to be a rock wall. I'm guessing that's probably going to be a dam. Straight ahead in the distance, may not be visible on the camera, there is a ranger station way over there. It's a little bit odd here, but I'm sure there's a good reason for it. I've never seen this on a trail before. And here's the cave. Now, this cave actually has soot in here, and there's some information in here about the man that used to live in here. He used to dedicate his life to prayer and to serving God. So we'll go ahead and look at the story here in a minute. So in summary, I'm not going to read the sign to you word for word, but this says it's not a true cave, but rather a rock shelter and says that people have been using this thing for thousands of years. There's evidence of their presence somewhere in this cave, or at least there was anyway. I'm sure it probably got removed by now. There are 6 large holes carved in the rock, and these are bedrock mortars, which they used to grind wild plants. They also did mesquite beans and acorns. And it's believed that there's some pottery shards that went back all the way to 1 AD, maybe even 1450 AD. So pretty wild place in here. So this is a sign that's basically saying don't mess with the stuff that's in here. I'm just going to summarize what it says. So there's a man, I'm probably going to butcher his name, he's Italian, Giovanni Maria de Agostini. I hope I'm saying that right. He was a hermit, and he spent 40 years of his life traveling. He pursued something, form of spirituality, which meant abstaining from worldly comforts. And he traveled all the way through Europe. He also went to South America. He also was in places like various places in the Americas, like Canada. And during the cold winter, lack of interest, he decided to leave that area. He eventually arrived here in this area known as La Cueva. His friends in Mesilla, New Mexico, which is on the other side of current-day Las Cruces. I don't think Las Cruces even existed during that time. They were concerned about him, and they were also concerned that apparently there's been some sort of attempt on his life. So he told them that he shall make a fire in his cave every Friday evening while he was here. And if there was no fire, that meant to come check on him, because that means he had died. So he did also say that he was going to bless them in prayers. And then one Friday night in April of 1869, when they didn't see the fire, they came to check on him. And it was found in here that, I'll just say he had been unalive since his YouTube. He was 68 years old at the time. Now, it looks like they do want you to stay on this wooden trail that I'm on here, not to be wandering around the cave itself. Maybe it's because there's undiscovered artifacts in here, I'm not sure. But either way, I'm going to respect this. Also, if you haven't checked it out yet, I have a Bible channel that combines nature videos with Bible readings. It's called Minute Bible Readings. So if you want to check it out, I will have a link at the very end page of this video. If you're interested in other places in the Las Cruces, El Paso area, I do have playlists on my my YouTube page that you can also check out as well. Just go into the playlist, click on them, and you can check out the videos you find interesting. And I also have videos from cruises as well as other states, and I'm always adding new content. So if you could hit that like and subscribe button, I'd appreciate it.